able to find some of Toledo's history on paper in the pages of books, you can also find it on bricks on the side of buildings in the Old South End. Let's take a look at the history of some of Toledo's murals that you drive by every single day. The vibrant murals in Toledo got their start in California by way of a professor from Bowling Green State University.
One of their professors, Gordon Ricketts, he had traveled to California, and he just was really inspired by the muralists there, and so he wanted to bring a little bit of that back to Toledo, and so he started an art and community class there, and so they invited Mario Toledo, a prominent muralist from California, over here to Toledo, and that's where it kind of all started with the paintings down Broadway, which were Martin Luther King and Cesar Chavez, and then from there they painted under 75 going on Broadway. There have been murals where the parents were part of like one of these original Ola murals, and then the children have come down because of those murals to take part in some of the other ones. And the neat thing about murals is that people will sneak in their relatives into the mural. So some of those random faces, you may not know who they are, but they could be someone very important to one of the artists associated with those murals. You never know who's on those murals, so it's kind of exciting if you can find somebody that knows the history of them. Side here of the Providence Centers, if you see the gentleman on the very far corner here, he would stand at that corner and watch the muralists as they painted this building day in and day out. And so to kind of commemorate that fact, the painters decided to put him there permanently in that corner, because he was always there to kind of to cheer them on, really, and to kind of just watch the traffic pass up and down the road. The backside of the Topeka Arts and Cultural Center, which was called the Gallery of Americas a few years back, it's now known as the Jose Martinez Memorial Galleria, in honor of Jose Martinez, who's an artist here in the Old South End.
Everything brown is going to be painted. You know who's going to be painted for? You guys. For you guys.
Cultural art is important because it tells a story of a subculture that is easily digestible. Usually most people are not offended by art. They're willing to look at it and try to figure it out, and they're willing to learn about it. So that's a good way to kind of start a conversation and to introduce a culture to a person. So this one, there's actually a huge significance because corn was a prominent food source in Mexico. Like, that's where corn originates, is in Mexico. The original mural was painted because of a protest with GMO corn. And that's what the mural is standing against. There was a big movement in Mexico about all of the GMO seeds that were being shipped everywhere, and so especially the indigenous people in Mexico felt like they were trying to poison them, and so that's kind of where that mural came from. I mean, you always want to honor the past because that's where you're coming from, so it's kind of important in terms of where you're going. It helps to give you direction, but I think that just as human beings, we always try to strive forward, and so you see that we, especially in the last few years, we've tried to do a lot more that is Toledo positive. We really want to bridge that. It's not just a Latino community. There's a lot of different people that live here, and we're just really trying to bring the community together, regardless of ethnicity.